Hello everyone, welcome to my Module 11 assignment video / memo. This module will continue our exploration of assessment for learning or formative assessment process. Almost all of you had or will have a strong reaction to the term paper assignment. Marissa's struggles with writing an essay with Mr. Jones. Many have had similar experiences, including me. Grades should not be a surprise to students, which is why I like to post the running average right next to your name in the grade book. I'm not sure how that works when you click on your grades, but it should be right at the top. All of you should mention the Emily interview with Judy Arter, which appears staged, but what Emily has to say about the way her teacher, Miss W, teaches writing is so very important. If you read her two pieces of writing, one before she began the course and one at the end of the course, you should be impressed about the improvement. I've tried to model much of what is my course structure on that model of formative assessment. The biggest idea of this course is the way I'm teaching. You should read a recent article on portfolios. The module 11 is on portfolios, and I have an article by Hodges on how portfolios boost assessment relevancy. You also should be looking at chapter 10 in Chapuis and Stiggins, which talks about portfolio assessment, and they also, according to Chapuis and Stiggins, there are 5 types, so they're not all the same. There's a growth portfolio, a project portfolio, an achievement status portfolio, a competence portfolio, and celebration portfolio. Those are the ones I like, celebrating. So there's a difference. And if you're looking for information, then check out chapter 10. You should also take some time to watch the videos by Rick Wormelli. Those aren't required to my knowledge, but he's a great speaker. I think you will be moved by him. If you're not, then maybe something's wrong. I've got one on redos and retakes part 1, redos and retakes and do-overs part 2, and his video on late work. He also has an article. It's called Redos and Retakes, and in that article there is he has a great list of steps you can take right at the end here. 14 practical tips for managing redos in the classroom. Good stuff here. I'm probably going to share these 10 things in each of the discussion boards in the coming week. So look for them and comment on them, and I want your true comments. I want you to say, hey, I can't do that. That's, require parents to sign the original poorly done version. Come on, my parents aren't going to do that. So those are the things I want your comments to, because I think Rick teaches in a middle school in Southern California, so he might be in a little different environment than most of us are used to. Okay, I also have shared a video by Carol Dweck. Now, everybody, you may not know her name, but you may know what her research is on growth mindsets. And most of us can talk about growth mindsets and a fixed mindset. So this is I'm not crazy about the way Dweck talks. It sounds like she's talking to an elementary school kid, but the information that she has in this video about not yet, the power of not yet, or the power of yet, is interesting. So you can talk about that in the discussion board as well. of course, during this discussion, you can have views contrary to mine. Many of you have had them, according to your initial baseline survey, about giving extra credit, etc., etc. So talk about that. Defend your opinion, but use evidence. I want to see some support for it, not just that you think it's a good thing, because you want kids' self-esteem to be boosted by their grade. But no, parents don't want that. Parents want their kids to get good grades, but they want to know that grade represents what they've learned in mastery. So I'm looking forward to continuing an active discussion in the next week. There are some issues presented by the articles of the authors I have placed in course materials that should transform the way you look at grading as well as formative assessment. Okay, end of semester assignments. By the end of Module 11, you will need to complete all your posts for the current discussion board. I'm not going to close it because of what's going on right now, but I will be grading it. You needed to upload your revised selected response test with an answer key at the end. Please, you need to put an answer key at the end, because I need to see if your answers are really reflecting what your learning targets are saying, because I certainly can't tell by just looking at your test. I can tell if your format is right, and don't put your answers within your test, because it's going to mess up your formatting. It's going to make your fill in the blank lines short and long. It's going to make your matching answer blanks messed up. So just put it at the end. Many of you have done that already in your initial post, your initial draft. So put your answers at the end. If you haven't done it, just put them in and re-upload it. I only look at the most recent upload. All right. Again, there's a link for the course evaluation in this module's assignments. The link takes you to the Turo 1 portal, which you have to log in again, I believe, even if you're already logged in. Then you'll be taken to the evaluation page. This is especially important because this is the only feedback I get from my course. And that's the only feedback that my supervisors use to evaluate me. 60% of my evaluation is based on those evaluations. So if you want to zing me, I guess you can. But be honest. I mean, don't just say there's too much work. Say what work could have been eliminated. That's what I'm looking for. How can I improve my course? And saying that there's just too much work, I was overwhelmed, yada, 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 does not help me or my supervisors. I mean, it could be just someone who is lazy and doesn't want to do the work. And it's hard to separate that out because I don't know who made those comments. So please do that for me. And please make comments. Don't just put in 1 through 5, because that doesn't tell me much either. That's usually just a popularity vote, a popularity poll. In the last module, you need to upload your completed vocabulary in your own words. Many of you will be tempted to take the textbook definitions or the ones that I used in my vocab quizzes. That's okay. I'm not going to mark them wrong if they're accurate. But please put them in your own words, because that will help you remember them. And that's the whole purpose of vocabulary in your own words. It's a research-based technique for you and your students to remember vocabulary words better. I mean, there's more steps to it, like drawing pictures of the words and sharing them with classmates, etc., etc. So please do that. I once had a student who got several wrong and complained that it was because he put them in his own words. And no, it wasn't because he put them in his own words, because his own words weren't even close to the definitions being accurate. So please keep that in mind. You also need to upload your final baseline survey, which we've been examining in the modified discussion board, creating the TPAS rubric. So you should have a pretty good idea of what's expected for the 3-part analytic summary if you've looked at those 3 exemplars and created your rubric based on the quality of those exemplars. And make sure you, in parts 2 and 3, that you support your comments with evidence from our readings. As I mentioned before, I've shared sample graphics in both the assignment upload and the video of how to create the three-part analytic summary. One is a table, and one is an Excel spreadsheet graciously given by Debbie Wong in a previous course. So that's it. Good luck and finish strong.